to shoot.
That was one of my favorite days shooting, and but then also seeing how impossible it would have been to do it.
Yeah, because we were so
Actually,
sad
New
that we
York.
didn't get to shoot in New York. And and you go like, we would never have made it
Yeah.
because it just Ghostbusters shooting in actual New York is tough.
Yeah.
Benny, don't get weird on me, okay?
We had a whole sequence. All this stuff in the end credits here was actually just a long sequence that we had at the end of the movie, and then we went to credits. But I was really happy that we were able to kind of break this up into the end credits.
Yeah.
It worked out well. And shout out to the Title House Plucky,
Oh.
who they've designed the last 3 end credit scenes for my last 3 movies, for The Heat, Spy, and this. Because my thing to them is always like, make the end credits really fun. Because
Yeah.
there's nothing I hate more than when you flipping around on cable and you come into the end credits of a movie and it's just like, white credits on black crawling along and there's some song and, it's like, as a filmmaker, I don't want to waste a frame.
Don't.
And so let's have fun from beginning to end.
Beginning to end.
There you go.
Yeah.
See? And here we are. Chris. Interesting thing about that is we didn't have Chris for this scene, so we shot his insert of moving past him on a set that we built, just one wall set of him doing all these different things, and then we had Kristen and Melissa on the actual set weeks later reacting to him, but he wasn't really there.
That's right.
The magic of movie making.
Mm-hmm.
Good, really good. I'm
And then
kinda next level
nice
stuff.
little shout out to Michigan here,
Oh, yeah.
from which was I think this was a KDAD lib too.
Yeah.
Which I wish I could take claim for because I am from Michigan. But
Right.
the fact that I put it in the movie, that means
Yes.
I'll take credit for it. Sorry, Lansing. Well, so what did we learn, Katie Dipple, now that we're in the end credits here?
Oh, that?
To reboot or not to reboot?
I know.
I'm proud of the
is the
film.
question.
We've said this before. We got to do a lot of fun stuff,
Yeah.
and we brought
So, sorry. I didn't know.
new generation their own Ghostbusters. So there you go.
I want to give a shout out to the originals.
Yep.
They were awesome
Yeah.
and supportive and lovely. And Sigourney Weaver, when
Yeah.
she was, God, her day was amazing. I don't know. I love all these people so much, and I'm so grateful to how awesome they were to us.
Yeah, they were so supportive. Everybody from top to bottom.
Yeah.
And and Ivan was always there with
Yeah.
helping out and giving us guidance, and it was really meant a lot to have everybody from the original movie involved with this. It was
Yeah.
really such kind of a love letter to them from us, and then their love letter back to us was the fact that they were just so supportive and involved, and yet gave us our space and let us do our thing and let
Yeah.
us kind of make it our own. And yeah, I'm just really, really honored that we got to work with them.
Yeah.
And look at right on cue, and the movie's over. But now we've got a good 7 to 8 minutes of end credits to.
Talk about the Wang Theater.
Yes, the Wang Theater was first started by the Wang family. Look it up on the internet because it's if you win in Boston, be sure to visit the Wang Theater. But because the theatrical version of the movie we cut out Chris's dance number, even though it's restored into the extended. If you're watching the extended, you just saw that. If not, but Chris did so many funny dance moves, it almost felt funnier to be able to use way more of it in the end credits.
Yeah.
And so we did. And see the choreography of Stephen Twitch Boss, who is so
best.
great. He did he's just choreographer extraordinaire. I did a promo for the Oscars when Ellen hosted, and he choreographed that because he works with Ellen all the
Oh.
time, and we became friends there, and really fun to work with him. And yeah.
And watching him to the side on set with Chris
Yeah.
practicing this was always a real treat.
Yeah. Well, Chris worked so hard on this. The entire time he was with us, he was learning the dance. And so every time I look, like when he'd be waiting in the wings to kind of do his part in whatever scene it was, he'd be practicing his dance moves. And it was so sweet because he really worked hard and he was really nervous about it. And then look at it. He's amazing.
amazing.
There's nothing
He's
the guy
great.
can't do. It's very frustrating, actually.
Yeah.
To be that good looking, that funny, and he can dance. And he can sing, too. He sang once on the set, and it was...
Did he?
Yeah, just when he was talking to Melissa, and Melissa stopped him. She goes like, no, don't. If you are a talented singer, too, then I'm just going to have to give up. Oh, and this Mark Ronson produced this song, wrote and produced this song for us that
Yeah.
Passion Pit
Oh, yes.
also did their thing on, and
Fans.
I love it. I love all the. I got to give a shout out to Erica Weiss, who is our amazing
Yep.
music supervisor, who just puts together so much fun music for us and brings in songs we wouldn't have thought of. And but what's fun about this end credits is that we kind of commissioned these songs because we're dying to work with Mark Ronson, and he came on board to do. Originally, he was going to do a version of the Ghostbusters theme, but then kind of wanted to do an original thing, which
Yeah.
I'm so glad he did because I think the song's really, really fun. Oh, now coming up are these great pictures of Chris that was really funny because we wanted to have that thing where he had his headshots, and I forget whose idea was to have him shirtless. I feel like it was Chris's idea.
Probably.
'Cause I don't think any of
yeah.
us would have the nerve to tell him to ask him to take his shirt off.
No.
But then we did this little photo shoot with Hopper Stone, our on-set photographer, and then I was back there with it, and it was just we had all these stupid props, and just Chris was so hilarious of just like, oh, okay, now be a Cub reporter, and he put like a tie and had a notepad, but no shirt on, and a doctor and all that. So
He was a great sport.
he's a great sport. He did things we didn't think he would do. And now here's Al King with an original song.
Is there anything going back that you missed the most or wish you had put in the movie?
Oh, that we had to cut out?
Yeah.
Well, the dance number was the one that was the hardest one to take out,
Right.
which is in the extended. But there's just so many character moments.
Yeah.
The first cut of this movie, you saw it, was 3.5 hours long.
Yes.
and I there's not a lot of stuff I go like, oh, we lost that. That's a great thing about DVDs and now just extra content over streaming or whatever, however you get it delivered to you, is that it used to be in the old days you'd have things that you just were so funny that you didn't want to lose, but you knew if you didn't put them in the movie that they were gone forever. But now that you can do extras, it's better for filmmaking because then we filmmakers don't go like, we're going to keep that in at all costs. And so you go like, okay, we'll put in the extra materials or even the extended cut or whatever. So I usually end a movie kind of feeling like, yeah, I feel like we did everything we wanted to. I don't even call the extended like my director's cut. It's like the theatrical version is my director's cut. There's just stuff in the extended that I like that, I wanted to put in.
Right. You have the dedication coming up to Harold Ramis, which I'm so happy you did that.
Yeah, Harold was the greatest. I was honored to get to know him because I first met him through, he was directing on The Office when I was directing there, but then also he was friends with Lee and Jean because they did Year One together, and they took me out to dinner with Harold one night, and to get to know Harold and to talk to him, one of my comedy directing and performing icons, was so great. But he was the nicest man, and I ran into him a bunch of times after that at various things, and always so lovely. And just to get to do this and to dedicate it to him and get to know his family and Erica and all that, it really means a lot to me. And I feel like Harold, Erica said that he would have loved this film, so that meant a lot.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
That's another thing that's really inspiring about the original teams, like just such amazing geniuses, but also really nice people. Like
Yeah.
you can be in comedy and be a nice person too.
Yeah,
It's
see?
a very inspiring thing.
I know, exactly. But what I love about comedy is, in general, when I was in the stand-up world, sometimes stand-ups can get a little bit tough to deal with. But in general, I find people in comedy tend to be pretty cool because, you have to be such a team player, and you're kind of only as good as the people around you, and you can, and I find that they like to set each other up as much as they like to be funny themselves. And, especially like our cast are so good at that.
Yeah.
Well, a quick story about this music that's playing right now. This is a band called No Small Children they're 3 school teachers, and they know our composer, Teddy Shapiro, and they did this version and gave it to him like, hey, just give it to him. And we played it, Eric and I played it. We're like, it's so awesome that we put it in we put it in the movie. So
Oh, I didn't know that. That's great.
yeah, it's really cool to have them in here.
What is Be Moved from?
I think that is some Sony thing, to be
Oh.
quite honest. That I had nothing to do with that. I know it came up first, and I was like, "Whoa, that's interesting." Did we write that? No, we didn't. I wish Slimer would have bit a mouthful out of the Columbia word. I know it's only my only regret.
Yeah.
That's it. Throw it in the bin.
That exterior was the last shot that we took, right?
Yep, that was it.
I remember it was a really wonderful, just standing outside, everyone quietly just over.
But remember what we were doing? We were waiting for the streetlights to come on.
Yes,
We
yes,
just sat there waiting and waiting. It was very zen, very peaceful.
yes.
What is it? Did you get something?
Yeah, I heard something really weird. What's Zool?
Well, thanks everybody. Thanks, Katie.
Thank you.
We did it.
Thank everyone.
Thanks for listening.